we're here tonight, ready for another heaping helping of East Texas University, a fictitious college on the border between eastern Texas and western Louisiana, um, right near the big thicket. And we are running with the Savage Worlds rule set, the Suede edition, Savage Worlds Adventures Deluxe edition, I guess it's called. And boy, we're getting a lot of mileage out of the East Texas University materials, the rule books, the artwork. I'll dive in and say Shane Hensley and Clint Black are the primaries responsible for giving us Savage Worlds. Thank you, gentlemen. East Texas University, authored for the most part by Preston DeBose and Ed Wetterman. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm really looking forward with this group or another to doing one of the semesters overseas. Uh, good stuff, good stuff. Um, Duff, the primary of the Prater's Reject channel, both a YouTube presence, a Twitch presence, and a personal friend. Thank you, Duff. He gives us the impetus to play by giving us the mechanism to get out onto the YouTubes with these videos. And all the work he does. We have a fundraiser coming up and a wide swath of various 5e, Savage Worlds, aliens, kids on bikes, etc., etc. Homespun rules, maybe a Pathfinder here and there. So whatever your appetite is keen for, I'm sure Prater's Rejects has something to whet and to sate that appetite. Corey, my friend, thank you for running this original incantation, if you will, of East Texas University. We enjoyed it so much we decided once you had to move on that we would just keep playing. And my three players always providing me with a healthy serving of their little personal bits of artwork to amuse and to, in some cases, make me a bit awestruck with the talent that these good players possess. I've said it before, I will say it again. It is a force multiplier when the dean of East Texas University, or generally speaking, a dungeon master of a role-playing game, sees that interest and that little extra bit of fun come back from the players. It then multiplies my effort and my hopes to do well by these players. And it's a good symbiotic relationship. And I would be remiss not to thank Phil Cho over on DeviantArt. I've lifted several of his little character sketches, some of his superheroes in their human guise, because the young late high school or average college age students represented in his art, as well as various like Arkham Asylum scientists and whatnot, really were what I was looking for, what I needed to impress upon these players. I'm a very visual player myself, and when I can see a piece of art next to a name, it's easier for me to remember such things. Now let's see, I think we've drawn a king for Nightsteed's Curse. Poor Shep. I think it's been a king the last couple times. I think he has been suffering ill effects, and when last we played, he acquired from the shelf of a convenience store another dosage of something to treat those, sinus issues, sneezing, watery eyes, congestion, perhaps a tickle in the sore throat, a feeling generally of malaise, I would say. Let's drop a card. A4. Oh, that is unfortunate. First things first, I will bring up my party sheet. I will activate the button that Fantasy Grounds Unity provides to reset bennies. And I think I'm going to keep all my bennies tonight because these players, these wild cards are going to be present, although 3 of them have players representing them. However, Erica is present and Mir is close by. With that said, unfortunately, For Shep, that card means -1 Benny.
Okay.
Just not as much fun as, oh, I don't know, body odor or halitosis or feeling
That's actually the first time
sick.
that one's ever been drawn.
So I will help myself to one of Shep's bennies and promise you that there are more
That's a
coming.
new one.
Yeah.
Those bennies from heaven. Oh, okay. Shep got a level of fatigue from
Yeah.
last
That's
game. I'm going to remove
although I
that.
did take my medicine, so
I'm going to remove that.
how long does it take?
I'm going to say that since we've just started a new session and I've drawn a new curse for you, it's only fair to remove the negative affiliated with the previous condition, that sickness, that head cold. And tonight, I'm not going to get any help killing you. You guys are going to do well all by yourselves. Ava, oh, fatigue of a different color. 2 levels of fatigue.
Yeah.
Oh, one of these is from banging your head against the back of like the rail that kept the people from the upstairs of the theater, the
Yeah.
balcony, from flipping over. So one of those you hit. And remind me, if you will, where that other layer came from. Was that when
I got body slammed by a
Lenny
guy neighbor Lenny.
Lenny
Like
slammed
he was
you?
possessed.
I'm going to say that just through the course of adrenaline rushing,
Witnessed by all of our friends.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is this is true.
Everyone got to see that happen. That
It-
was wild.
well,
But
let's just say that
I did manage to get him in the back of the head.
recompense was painful.
That
I'm
was
gonna
a really good
He
role. That
deserved it.
was the most surprising and amazing thing I've ever done, I want to say.
as I fancy myself on occasion a kind, beneficent, and benevolent dean, and not wholly unreasonable. I'm going to remove one of those levels of fatigue, just due to the nature of
Okay.
the adrenaline coursing through your body and the fact that when you were body slammed, your body took such a shock that you kind of ache all over. So that little throbbing in the back of your head is deadened a bit just because you hurt in so many other places. And let me
He
just,
does get hurt so bad, so often.
yeah,
At least this time, Erica can't just blame me.
not
Oh
cannot
Lord.
cannot. Sophia, I see you with a level of fatigue. Remind me, was this from
Uh,
combat?
I believe I got like drop kicked by Lenny into a wall.
Hmm.
Oh man, he got both of us.
Yes, yeah.
Just imagine if he wasn't your boyfriend.
Domestic abuse.
We're gonna have a long conversation about this next time.
It's, I did actually did not realize all of us were fatigued.
It's
Yes.
Yeah,
been a long night, man.
Mine's
been a
just
long
apparently from
night.
allergies, but y'all, woo.
I'm going to remove that level of fatigue. Start off our friend Sophia sort of on an evil playing field. Did I say evil?
Fatigue
I meant
is tending
equal.
to real
Evil.
me.
And this is where we're going to start. Let's see if I've taken care of everything. I've doled out some bennies, refreshed everybody, removed some levels of
Stole some
fatigue,
back.
Oh yes.
stole one back, one Benny.
I remember
Um,
before we were ransacked that I MacGyvered some things for everybody.
you did, you did.
Like
Erica's carrying the base of her, or the shaft, the pole of her theater,
yeah,
the theater poles that have the cordons, the bright velvet ribbons that sort of separate for crowd control, show where the line starts,
yeah,
etc. But you also did something. I think you took a broom handle and it and
yeah.
masking taped some
I
nails coming
fashioned
out of it.
some makeshift spears for everybody,
Okay.
and I also took hairspray and lighters.
Mhm. It's a pretty well stocked convenience store. There's all sorts of good stuff on the nooks and crannies in and about the shelves and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
So besides the obvious, like probably bats or hammers that you might find, she just decided to make shift something a little more deadly.
Yeah, I don't. I'm thinking of the times I've been through a convenience store. I think the only bat you might find would be like the toddler's plastic wiffle ball bats. However, stuff like 10W30 weight motor oil, lighters,
Mm,
not a well stocked tool shelf of tools, but certainly the odd hammer, uh,
yeah.
like a screwdriver
Maybe
with
like
one of
one of
those.
those weird rubber mallet things.
I
Oh
don't.
yeah, that's what I remember fashioning.
Yeah,
Spears for everybody out of like screws, nails, and broomstick handles.
yeah. And I think, did you not pour motor oil inside the, like on the tile, right inside the door after you removed that rubber
Mm,
mat? I,
something like
Yeah,
that.
I think your idea
to
was
where
if somebody comes in, this stuff is probably going to go up pretty readily if you toss a lighter onto it. And that might be a
yeah,
way
she
to.
was ready to do something crazy if these things stepped in.
That's right.
She's using MacGyver as much as possible.
Certainly, it is a very valuable edge, which you paid for. So let me um, let me try to share this map one more time because I don't know that it's getting to ship.
Yeah, it is. I've already got it in the
Okay,
background.
okay. I
Oh
just get a
yeah,
little
here
confused
I'll
when
go see it.
I see the two little icons on the bottom and I see ships is missing and something is telling me, well,
Oh, is it?
it didn't make
Oh,
it. But then if you went and reloaded it instead of me sharing it with you, you
Do,
had it brought up.
do you
Probably.
see it now?
I don't see you as having it, but
Huh.
I trust you have it. It's just
Well, I mean, if you're not seeing me, because like I just tried to move my token, I see everybody's tokens, including
oh
the
yes.
two uglies.
Now
Okay.
that's not nice to call Sophia and Ava names. Yes, I see you guys just
that's
did a
funny.
little. You just did a little time warp, a little jump to the left, and a little jump to the right.
Hmm.
And that just let me mention casually and quickly to the kind viewers that we understand we have had some issues with volume, especially Ava has such a gentle and lilting voice,
Oh,
not booming and abrasive such as myself. That her mic and her volume tends to be low and makes her hard to hard to hear sometimes. So we've went and played a little bit with Discord and tried to bump the volumes up. And here's hoping, fingers crossed on both hands, that it will ameliorate and alleviate that issue for once and for all. And hopefully, the setting
I
that
hope so.
we bumped you up several tens of a percentage above 100% will will work. So where we left off, you were in a convenience store. Um, the clerk that was working there earnestly entreated you to come back and hide with him and a few other customers back in the office because of all of the dangers afoot in the town of Pine Box. There was a low speed multi car collision, for example, outside, and folks screaming, sirens blaring, perhaps the sound of a few gunshots. He saw folks being thrown up against the windows in the diner across the way, and he saw what he thinks are folks that are kind of like in the movie with Patrick Swayze, Point Blank, Point Break, where the
Hmm.
folks that were robbing the banks would have like the masks of old presidents. He thinks it's someone coming through and doing ne'er do wells, doing crimes in Pine Box, dressed as figures from the Wizard of Oz, because that's the only description you could give. Well, there was a guy dressed like the Tin Man. Really? Do you know what he looked like? Well, no, he was dressed like the Tin Man. So that's kind of how he is um, describing and how he's mentally processing what is going on. You are in a convenience store. It is very well stocked. You put some motor oil, you pull back the rubber mat and poured some
Yeah,
motor oil out, such that anybody breaching that door would slide, maybe.
like somewhere around here.
Yes, yes.
outside, but that half circle would probably be,
Yes.
you know.
And outside, you heard this of a few steely knife-like claws just raking slowly across the tempered glass door of this convenience store, which was locked from the inside. And then the Tin Man just got a little bit bored and bashed in one of the doors, the glass doors, first fracturing and then removing a portion of it. And I don't think they had to open the door. I think somebody inside peeked out through the horizontal slats of the blinds, and then the door just opened. And I don't know if somebody unlocked it and opened it from the inside, or was it just damaged such that the Scarecrow or the Tin Man could reach in and flip that little lock mechanism and push the door open. Nevertheless, the door gives way, and they're standing there. And I think it was the Scarecrow that said, I don't think we're going to go in, as he, with his increase in intelligence, did espy the little trap that you had laid. And what he is viewing are a few pine box or the vicinity civilians that seem a little more stalwart than the others that were more or less easy pickings, as they both have some brains, the Scarecrow, and some hearts, the Tin Man, sort of under their belt that they have consumed this evening. So the Scarecrow's like, you can't fool me. And then he says, if I only had a brain on a plate, yours will do nicely. As he looks at Ava, sneers at her, and does sort of just look
no.
a little bit to the left and right, for he's fully expecting, oh, I don't know, an ambush, some sort of trip line or something like that, as he is exceedingly wily. This sort of incantation of him. Bring up the combat tracker. Let's see, I think we might have got to the first round, or did we not even begin the combat? For some reason, I'm at Ava with a 2. I have the Scarecrow.
We're starting it.
Yeah, I have the Scarecrow and the Tin Man on here, but they don't have numbers next to them. They have not drawn cards. I could deal them in. Sophia has a Joker. Maybe this was just a way for me to order.
I think this was from the last time we had combat,
With
and it would
Lenny.
just because I don't remember we ever
Yeah.
started
With Lenny.
With Lenny.
Yeah, we
With
ended
Lenny.
as soon as these two appeared for a
That's
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
that certainly tracks, and I don't want to start off combat with Sophia with a
So
Joker.
everybody,
I don't want to have
yeah.
all those
I'll keep
bonuses.
it though.
The an extra Benny +2 to all of her
As much as
combat
I love
rolls.
Joker, it would not be fair of me to say yes, of course. We started when we most definitely didn't.
So let's see, and I'll try to keep all of the meat of all these dialogues in this little white rectangle, this little upper right-hand corner view plane that I sort of gave myself as a visual aid, just to make sure I'm not doing things and describing them, and if they're off camera. In other words, it doesn't really help if all the viewer can see is the top part of the convenience store, when really all the meat is happening in kind of that middle region. So sure, I will set round back to 0. I will go to the next round. Oh, that is
Oh
so awesome. And I believe
Did this not happen the last
an
time?
omen or a
my
harbinger
goodness
of,
gracious.
of what we
This
have.
That's
happened
what I
last
get
game
for being
too.
honest.
This is this is going to be a wonderful night. The Tin Man with a Joker. So um,
That's what
I
I get
guess
for being honest.
How
extra
horrifying.
bennies, a +2 to his combat and trait rolls.
It's
He can go on hold. Yeah, he could do anything he wants. In fact, I think he's going to take the rather classic Johnny Bench batter up pose with his fireman's axe and say, "Come and get it, kiddies." I'm gonna put I'm gonna put him on hold, and he can interrupt somebody else's action, should he so choose.
I mean, to be fair, is very, very appropriate to the scenario we have been dealt.
Now to Erica,
Mm-hmm.
she says, "I see you, Tin Man. I got a, I got a, I got a, I got a club here with your name on it, and believe she is going to walk through Ava Square. You can see there are some shelves, which I'll just assume they're not permanent fixtures. They're probably on
Mm-hmm.
wheels, so they can be repositioned to account for different ways to display you know Bix lady
Very
shavers and candy
Jackson
bars and stuff like that.
shelves.
So I'm probably going to think that you folks sort of push those a little bit out of the way. Hence, with the Unity terrain, I have them as open so you can see through them. Else, you could not. But she's going to go around you, and she's going to step there. And I'm going to give her a slight minus, but she's going to take a swing at said Tin Man. Erica is going to select Tin Man as her target. Bring up Erica's character sheet. Yeah, did I give her a club? I'm sure she has like a bat or something. Notes, powers, combat. Called heavy club. All right, I'm going to go to the items table, and I think I'm going to give her the benefit of a light club. That D8 is a little bit too much damage for this. I was torn between making it an improvised weapon or uh, an improvised heavy weapon or a not improvised light weapon. I think I'll just make it a light club. Melee. Do do. Great sword. Oh, doesn't she wish? Maul. Oh, doesn't she wish? Oh, there's the fireman's axe. Club light. There it is right there. Do do. Drop that down. Dismiss items. And here we go. Oh, okay. Yes, it reduced. I guess the 8 is her fighting roll. I misspoke. It reduces the damage potential from a D6 down to a D4, which is more in line with these lighter types of weapons. Yeah, she's just going to light them up. Makes sense, since I gave her the first strike edge the last time she advanced an edge. It makes sense that she would sort of, kind of, almost sort of swing first. She swings. She gets a 5. She hits the Tin Man with his parry of a 5. Very well done. She will try to inflict some damage to said Tin Man. 7. He is shaken. Very good. I guess that she swings, and this pole she is carrying around has screw threads at the end where she removed it from that wide disc-like, very heavy base that keeps these movie rail fences things, cordons from tipping over. So it's screwed on one, sort of threaded on one end, and it's got like a nice ball, nice orb on the other hand. And she swung with. She's still wearing the leather cleaning gloves that Ava and she found in the theater in the cleaning supplies area. And just because I forgot, I'm going to give her a -1 to swing against the Tin Man because she is standing on oil. Actually, I'll make her make an agility roll just for that sense of verisimilitude that she's standing in a puddle of 10W30 weight motor oil. And with a 6 and a 7, her 6 aces, she got a 9 on her agility check. I'm going to say she's just fine. I'm going to apply the shaken condition to the Tin Man, and I am going to go to the combat tracker and advance from Erica to the Scarecrow. And as I mentioned last game, this is not the whimsical, fun Scarecrow of the movie. It's got a jagged leer for a mouth and many little triangular metal teeth. Its eyes, just red little pinpoint glows of malevolence. And he's got these almost like Edward scissored hands, like blades coming out of these stout leather workman's gloves. And he is going to take a swing at Erica. Why not? And let's see if he has her selected. The Tin Man, didn't select her. Let me try that again. I wonder why. Control, click, should make her. Come on, Fantasy Grounds. No, it's not. It's not selecting Erica. So I'll just have to drag that little target onto Erica.
I think it's because she's underneath that
Could be.
circle.
Could be. That's a good. That's a good call. That's a good call. Remind me if I forget it. I'll try not to. And let me just test that out by doing a control click and see if that makes a difference now. Doesn't seem to make a difference. She remains as his target. The Scarecrow will swing. Oh, a 6. Aces. Another 5. Comes up with an 11. A hit.
Oh,
A hit with a raise on the slender, blonde cowgirl pre-med student. Most unfortunate. Most unfortunate.
Ouch.
He will apply damage. A 3 and a 2. And a 1. Oh, raise damage. 6. She is shaken. She's pretty smart, being pre-med and all. I believe she is going to accept that damage. Save her precious bennies. I'm metagaming, of course. She doesn't know that she has a stack of bennies. But I'm going to apply the damage because she knows that her allies, who are clever, inventive, insightful, could possibly have something that's going to help. So it was a blow, and we'll say that it was towards her midsection, and she picked up one of her legs and tried to block that shot, and it caught on her, kind of like the knee of her chaps, which she always wears. Never leaves home without them. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go from the Scarecrow to Shep. Shep, what would you like to do? If you're muted, I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. Would you like to move?
Yeah, I'm moved to there. And kind of clear off the shelf a little bit so I can
Sure.
see
We'll say
through
you.
there.
We'll say you. It's on wheels, and two of you were able to shift it such that anywhere you want to move through, you can assume it's not there.
Okay. And we'll look out through the door. I don't see anybody brave enough to come towards them, so
Right? There's no one else
um,
kind of in your field of vision out
Excuse
there.
me.
and I am going to go bouillabaisse. have my little thing, my medallion out.
Wonderful. You know the role. Straight up spirit, I believe.
Yep.
First activation today?
Yes. I have not used it at all.
No, I thought you might have tried to soak one of those winged monkeys, but no, you did not.
Mm-mm. No, because they were fairly easy to hit. Plus, we were in the middle of a bunch of people.
Wow.
That's a 10,
Okay.
and it didn't. Because you'll have to remind me, since that's just a straight up spirit roll, it doesn't roll for the attack. So,
Right. Yeah, I think it covers a. Oh, what is it for the bolt spell? It is a
yeah.
small area, which I still think covers 4 squares on the map, unless I'm mistaken. Let me go to pointers. Let
I'm
me
not
go to the
sure.
small burst. I think it's a 2 square by 2 square. Yeah. Boy,
That'll work.
that's really that's really good. Um, I guess target both of them, and let me see what your damage is going to be. I believe since you needed a 4, a 10 is a success with a raise. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that gives you an extra dice or an extra
Okay.
die of damage. Just verify
How
that.
do I?
Oh, is that the plus damage in the corner?
Oh, is that?
I think what we're just going to do is just type it in. Let's see, bolt 3d6 with a raise. Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do the raise.
I thought it was a little dice in the left hand
yeah,
corner.
yeah, we'll try that. We'll try that, and if not, we'll just roll it. I guess it depends how
I'm
it's
apparently
coded.
being very dense. What left hand corner?
Sure, the lower
Oh.
left, the lower left-hand corner of the whole graphic user interface of Unity, way down next to
Oh,
that
okay.
Yeah.
that little
Thank you.
It's over
beige
where it says
area.
one action, run,
But
the
real
little
quick,
box next to your name.
I'm going to bring up powers. I'm going to bring up bolt. Um,
There we go.
One, two.
Thank you.
There are.
Yeah.
I see 3d6 worth of damage already in your kind
Yeah,
of like
that's
that little
the.
tray.
Yeah, that's what we've been rolling the damage for.
Let me right click and see. Is this something you can attack info? Type damage 3d6. Smart. It would be 3d6 on a raise. Perhaps you got a raise in the past. I think you got a raise
Mm.
one of the previous times. And I was like, okay, I think the easiest way to code that up is just to change it to a 3d6. And I think
Okay,
that's
so
true.
just leave it like that for right now.
Just leave it like that, and then we'll set it back to a 2d6.
Okay.
That's nice that it gives you that little visual of the 3 6-sided dice in a row. Because right away that led me to believe that it is already set to raise damage. Sure, if you could target both of those guys.
Okay.
Tough. Okay. So these guys are hardy. At least the
Mm.
Tin Man is, which means once shaken, a second shaken does not cause a wound, which is nice.
Okay.
Which means he merely remains shaken. The Scarecrow suffers a wound. Oh no, that won't do. That'll never do. I believe the DM is going to invoke his Benny to try to
Before you
soak that.
do that, I if I use a Benny on damage, I can keep the 10 if the other damage is lower, correct?
I believe that is true. I mean, yes, it's true. I think the user interface will um,
Okay.
enforce that behavior. A 2, a 3, and a 5 on 3d6, a 10. It's above
I
average.
probably won't get better,
It's,
but I at least want to try.
it's above average by half a point, maybe.
A
Okay,
little better.
okay, a point better.
Yeah, because it got the 10 man a wound.
Interesting. You all are going to try to get me to use my
Use them bennies. Use
bennies.
them. Use them.
But these are such fun characters to play. Why wouldn't I? We'll
'Cause you
drop.
can hear my brains and I don't like it.
We'll
Yeah,
drop.
he leered at my girlfriend. Come on now.
We can double team them. It'll be great.
Okay, the Tin Man managed to soak. Oh, he's not happy. Let's see about Scarecrow. How about a little bouillabaisse, Scarecrow? A 2 failed. And he had taken a wound.
Yeah.
Trying to think of which one of the other characters have those bennies. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Oh,
Ah.
wow.
Scarecrow is incapacitated. Um,
You got him.
let's see. How do I? Hey, I'm gonna apply. So he's incapacitated. I shouldn't he get like a little bloody smear or something. Maybe I go to the Tin Man's. Something I'm curious about. I think there's like something that says when this character is incapacitated, what's the visualization? There it is right there. The defeated marker
If you
says
probably
blood.
remove them,
Blood.
maybe it'll show up when they're gone.
Ectoplasm. Blood. Blood's good. Um, let's see what happens. Should I remove him? I guess I could.
Or yeah, maybe.
I'd like him to. I
It
thought he
depends
would
on
just show as, but so I've applied the damage. It shows incapacitated. I delete him. Oh yes, look at that nice. Look at
Yeah.
that. And you could probably pretend that that's some rather fishy smelling, soupy, dried hay and grass mixture there. Well
There
done.
we
Oh,
go.
it's
Apparently, he
great.
doesn't like gas station nachos.
Well
Oh
done. Um, the, the Tin Man is going to come off hold,
no. Oh no.
and I'm going to move the little pennant up to the Tin Man, and he is no
So,
longer shaken. And
Oh.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, Erica, 4, 5, 6, Shep. Erica because she swung at him. Shep just because he's carrying a magical effect of some type. So let's roll this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It comes up a 4, so he's happy to swing his fireman's axe at Shep, wanting to spread the love, of course. And I'll make sure he no longer has Erica targeted. He hefts that axe and he's going to take a swing with it.
shouldn't
It's
be too hard.
it's already bathed in blood.
Oh my gosh. All us noodle arms.
Although apparently I have the same parry as him, so
Mhm. You've got a +2 toughness on your. Oh no, sorry, that's the Tin Man who has the +2 toughness because of his hide. He says something like, "That's it, that's it. I see the fear in your eyes. I want that heart really beating hard when I pull it from your chest and devour it."
I'm
Oh
sorry,
no.
but it doesn't beat for you.
How off-putting! He rolled a 1 and misses.
Oh, that's
Even oh,
okay.
even with his Joker bonus, oh, that's off. But okay, so let's see. I will go back to.
Read between the lines,
I'm going to put.
Tin Man.
I'm going to put the pennant back, and also, oh, I guess what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm going to roll a agility roll. First, I need to just arbitrarily increase his agility, as that's what goes up when he eats hearts. 7. He's fine. He doesn't slip and fall in the motor oil. And I was thinking, yeah, we'll We'll just let that slide the way it is right now. Back to Shep. Before you advance your
Hmm.
turn, you have movement remaining. You can say, free actions,
Um,
produce an
hmm.
item.
Honestly, what I'm thinking of, I'm not sure if I can do it because I think it would take a full action, would be to really push this shelf really hard and push him back out.
Yeah, that's going to be an opposed
Yeah.
athletics roll in an attempt to, what's it called?
Yeah.
Bull rush, maybe? Or an attempt to forcibly move somebody. So, would you advance your
So,
turn?
yeah. Because I think he gets a attack of opportunity if I try to move. So,
Okay. I'd have to look up that rule, but it's certainly doable, and that's why we keep the rule books right handy. Right handy. Ava, with a four of spades.
Um, well, he is over here, within range, so I'll try and use this. Let's see. The oil is on the floor, but man, Erica is in the same oil.
Yes, she is.
Could I attempt a multi action to pull her out of the oil and then do a thing afterwards? Is that count? Does that count as a multi action?
It depends what the other thing is.
Well, attack with the flaming hairspray towards the oil to light up the Tin Man standing in it.
Yes, I'm going to apply a multi action penalty for
Okay.
that.
So I'll click on the thing that says one action and make it two actions,
Okay.
correct?
Okay.
Okay. So I want to take Erica, pull her aside
Okay.
over here.
How would you like to move her? Are you going to, like, I don't know, grab her by her shirt and pull her, or by her belt and pull her, or are you trying to actually, like, step into the oil a little bit and push her south on the map?
Yeah. I I want to, since she's already on the slippery substance,
Hmm.
my idea was to use the makeshift spear, the blunt end, push her away and hope that it slides her out of the way so that I can use my hairspray flame into the oil and light up this Tin Man. Oh, sorry, that movement was a mistake.
It sure. It occurs to you that equally effective and perhaps a little bit easier would be to push her out the door onto the sidewalk. So
Oh,
ra-
the door is right here.
the door's right behind her. So,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
it's open. I just think it would be easier to push rather than trying to like row her out of the way.
Yeah, I will kind of give her a heads up. It's like, I'm sorry, Erica, I need you to move, and she's going to like kind of shove her out the door.
Okay.
I mean this with love for your safety.
Sure. Make a fighting roll against
Okay.
Erica.
Fighting. That was
Ooh,
bad.
ooh, a -1.
Can I Benny that?
You certainly. I
I
recommend it.
he's got this.
I
I
recommend.
wish to put my friend out of the harm's way. Oh, that's worse. Ah, that multi action is really beating me down.
Yep. You're having a hard time catching that edge on her body because she's moving around, trying not to get hit with that axe. That's a Benny. You can burn another one, or you can just allow that to fail, light the
Let's try
fire.
one more time.
Okay.
One more time. That's better.
A 6. So you didn't have her targeted, I don't think. Let me bring up Erica's character sheet
Right,
right
why
quick.
was that a 6 in the first place?
The D3 or D4 rolled twice.
Yeah, and then you took 3 off of that.
Oh, I see.
So you probably rolled a 4 plus a 4 plus a 3 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I just dragged
You
the
know.
Benny right over the fighting again.
Yeah.
Let it do its thing.
So Erica's parry is a 6. Um, that 6 that you rolled matches her parry. Um, and then when she sees what you're trying to do, I'm not even going to make you roll um, subdual damage or something like that. You throw her off balance enough that she whirls upon you, recognizes what you're trying to do, and she will just let herself sort of slide out the door onto the sidewalk, where she admires a dead. Well, actually, you know what happens with the scarecrow is it melts kind of into water and seeps into the sidewalk. But
Kind of like the
sure,
monkey did.
yeah, like the monkey did.
Yeah.
So she
Okay.
slides out, leaving only the Tin Man in the oily morass. Something tell
Wonderful.
something tells me I'm going to have to look up the fire rule.
I was just gonna ask. I made myself a hairspray attack,
Oh
but
yeah,
I merely pulled a flamethrower. But it's it's way too much power. I think it's a 3d6 with with 10 ammunition to it, and I don't
yeah.
know.
I think it's going to be a 1d6
Yeah,
steam or
I was
spot
yeah.
fire
It,
because
if it would have.
2d6 is a burning room or a bonfire. So I think a 1d6 is uh, fair.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm only
And however many times I can use the hairspray, I'll leave up to you, and then I'll update the ammo
yeah.
section.
What do I think? I think 4 uses is fair.
Okay.
I think 4 uses. So yeah, what we're going to do is you're going to have to make a shooting roll. Straight up 4 is your target number, and it's not
Get
just that.
that set up.
It's not just oh I'm just trying to hit the oil. Well, no, you're timing it such that the flame, the Bic lighter comes on, and you have the
Mm-hmm.
hairspray attenuated the correct appropriate distance from it. You can't do it straight at it because it's going to blow the flame out. So it's backed up a little bit. Oh, and
Yeah.
then ignite and spray.
Let's give it a go. Um, do it towards him, or well, I could do it towards the oil itself, and it
Right.
would
Yep.
seep over to him. Yeah. Okay.
The periwinkle
Excuse me.
dice seem to be failing you.
Gosh, I.
Your your
I
your first shot. What happened was your hairspray was a little too close to the open flame, and it blew it out without igniting it. But if you would like to try again to ignite it, it'll cost you a penny, my friend.
yeah, I have one left. We're gonna be risky today and just go for it. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Yes.
And the periwinkle dice keep rolling, and with a d6, you manage to roll a 22, which is reduced by
Glorious.
3 to a 19. So, um, yeah, with that, the damage that you're going to do to the Tin Man is going to be a 2d6.
Scribble all of this in flames. In periwinkle flames.
And I think you need to target the Tin Man, and then maybe drop, or I'll drop
Oh,
something.
here. If I can do. Yeah.
Ah, with a raise, 19. Yeah, but it was more or less a shooting roll to ignite the fire, which happens. So now I just need you to two
And then the
d6.
damage, right?
Let me see if I can do it. Um,
Because I just did the thing to strike. I can
oh,
do the damage bit.
Sure, if you want to do 2d6, because of your raise and because this is a little closer to a bonfire, the fact that all this oil is going up, this petroleum product.
It shows the plus damage in the combat tracker, so I'm assuming I don't have to click it on my own side.
Okay.
It might already be active.
Okay, then we'll do 1d6.
Let me see.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, maybe not. I guess I do need to do one extra.
Well, I was going to give you 1d6 for the fire, but because of your
Uh-huh.
raise, I was like, you just ignite this around him, make it more like a bonfire and less than being hit with a torch. So that's where the 2d6 came from. It was raise damage, so to speak, just situational because of the nature of the oil and him standing in it. So 11 points does a wound. Hmm.
Glorious. um, I'm too close to him. I don't think I'll move away. He'll probably take a whack at me.
Oh
I'll
gosh,
I'll stay here.
we'll drop a Benny on him.
Finish him.
Drop a Benny on him. Oh. Oh, and he soaks the fire damage, and this is due to the fact that he had a Joker
Oh
bonus.
no.
The Joker bonus was the reason that I chose to use that Benny. I thought that +2 would matter, and he would have only gotten a 3 without the Joker bonus. So,
Wow.
kept alive by a Benny and a card, and it looks like it goes to Sophia.
Uh, Yay, we did it!
He's still standing there, and you would think it would be if it was a man dressed like the Tin Man, he'd be hopping around, he'd be trying to get out of the fire, etc., etc. He is not. He doesn't seem to be.
Yes,
It
indeed.
doesn't seem to be even particularly phased by it. Perhaps because the oil wasn't splattered on him, but rather he stepped onto it one step. But yeah, I mean there are flames licking about his ankles and shins. What would you like to do?
Is there any other oily substance nearby I can grab off a shelf?
Yes.
Because I would like to take it and toss it at him. So I guess, more
Oh.
oil. Just fan the flames. Keep going. What's there?
Keep going.
Yeah, it's working.
Realizing your dreams of burning trees, but in metal.
Roll a d4 and subtract 1.
Okay. Subtract what?
Roll a d4 and subtract 1.
One. Okay.
That's a d6.
Oh, oops. I know that.
It was a good. It was the
It's
roll you
been a
were
while.
looking for, but
It's been a while.
3 minus 1 is 2. We'll say you guys shifted the shelving about just a little bit to make it more efficient for you guys to fight. The motor oil is in that square. So, is there oil? Yes, you could move 2 squares and grab motor oil.
Okay, wonderful. I will grab the motor oil. What would you like me to roll to toss it at him?
Well, I don't think that throwing a can of motor oil is going to be very effective unless you're trying to bludgeon him with it.
Oh, I'm going to open it
Okay?
and try to splash it at him. Like, throw it so it hits him. And all on him.
How would you propose that you pierce, puncture, or otherwise serrate this can of motor oil? No, you know what?
Does that have like a Coke can would have? Or like a
Sadly, it does not.
bottle cap?
I was even
What a
thinking.
motor oil canister.
Yes, remember
I
this.
don't know.
Legitimate.
This
It's a
is
It looks
legitimate it's like a legitimate can with
Yeah.
usually it has like a little lid thing on it, but they have these weird like
Spouts.
you have
Pierces
to
it.
puncture it somehow.
Make a notice roll if you'd like to see if they sell those spouts.
Mm.
Because I imagine,
So my
in,
favorite.
in my mind's eye, I'm seeing Shep had taken that other can of motor oil and pierced it with his Leatherman um, tool or his pocket knife or something like that.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah, those are like legit oil cans. We're in the
Shh.
90s
Yes.
in Texas.
Sure. There is a
I assume Sophia would know these things, but I don't
yeah,
know. I don't. Motor vehicles are not a specialty of mine.
like right nearby there are some keychains with those bottle openers. Like
Yeah.
you do it one way and it makes like a little triangular piercing. Where you do it the other way, it's rounded and it pops like a cap off of a bottle. It's right there. With that notice roll, you can easily see it. You can pierce that motor oil. How many times would you like to puncture
Hmm.
it?
Yeah,
A lot.
Okay.
kind of imagine one of
Like
these almost.
two or three times.
Okay. Let me let my dog wander out onto the porch right quick as he is getting a little bit rambunctious. All right, chick, chick, chick. Sure, throw it. Let's see. We'll target him, and you can make a shooting roll.
All right.
I made. Oh, Sophia is targeting the Tin Man. I would like a shooting roll. This is just going to be a.
Shoots. So unskilled.
Oh, that is unfortunate. There are other friendlies in the area, but that's okay.
Please don't hit me with a
I
can of oil.
I have a lot of bennies, so this could
Bonk.
go any
Please.
possible way.
Oh my goodness.
Yay!
Oh boy.
A
Cool.
six. A six is a hit. It it strikes him. It strikes him on the right shoulder and falls to the ground into the already burning. So he's got oil on his shoulder and bicep, a little bit down the side of his thigh, and there's a little extra burst of fire around his feet as the contents spill and are quickly consumed by the fire.
I just grin at him when that happens. I go, uh, their hero was Drew Barrymore.
Hmm. Gonna go
Oh
to
my
the.
god.
Hey, that's good.
Okay, so we went to the next round. We have aces and queens. The Tin Man is down at a seven. Shep, you're the only one below the Tin Man. Would you like to burn a resource and draw another card?
Unfortunately, no. Uh, there's two reasons. One, I'm on my last Benny. Two, I have the hesitant anyway.
Okay.